Hello, welcome to this webinar by Colorado Rising. Today we're going to be showing you some of the online tools that we have available for volunteers to use. The primary thing that I'm going to be showing you today is how to use the calendars that are available on our website. Something that is important to know is that there are 4 calendars that you can use. 2 of those calendars are public facing, which means they can be found, accessed, and used by the general public on our webpage, and 2 of them are internal calendars for volunteer use only. The public facing calendars include our events calendar and the where to sign calendar. The internal calendar for volunteer use includes a calendar of where you can get your petitions notarized and also a calendar where you can post ideas of where other signature gatherers should be collecting signatures, like events. So the first thing that I'm going to show you today is how to access these calendars off of our website. So you can see right here, I'm just at the general coloradorising.org website. If you go to our homepage, you can see that there are 2 different calendars that you can access from the homepage. The first of those that I'm going to show you is just the general events calendar. This calendar lists only Colorado Rising sponsored events. So something that is important to note is that only Colorado Rising can post to this calendar. You as a volunteer will not be able to post this calendar. This calendar features things like trainings, kickoff parties, rallies, and other big events. If you have an event that you think should be on this calendar and you want sponsored by Colorado Rising, please email unite@corising.org. So as you can see, when you go to this calendar, it brings you to a calendar and you can look at any month out of the year. So as you scroll over these different events, it'll give you a little preview of what the event is. So for instance, the signature gathering training in Denver, we can see is on May 5th from 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. If you want to see all of the details of this event, all you have to do is click the event and it'll open up a page that looks like this. This is where you can open up the full details of the event, find a Facebook event, find any other information about parking, get the details of where the event is, and even get directions from Google Maps. Another cool thing to note about this calendar is that you can search by either date, keyword, or location. So for instance, if I live in Denver, I don't want to see all of the different trainings going on in Boulder. I just want to see what's happening in Denver. So all I have to do is click Denver in here and then click Find Events. And this will show me trainings that are only in the Denver and surrounding area. Another thing you can search by is date or keywords. So if you only want to search trainings, you can type training into the keyword. This will be an especially important tool as we head into the campaign and this calendar continues to fill up. That way you can view less items on the calendar and find what is most relevant to you or your volunteers. So we'll go back to the home page. The other calendar that is public facing is the where to sign calendar. So that's right here. If you click it and open it, you can see that it looks almost exactly the same as the events calendar, but the content on the calendar is completely different. So for instance, this calendar is specifically for people to find out where people will have petitions to be able to sign. So if I am a person that comes to our website, maybe I've signed the pledge to sign or want to sign a petition, but I don't know where a paper one is going to be, I can go to this calendar and our volunteers will post where they're going to be and where available signing parties will be. So for instance, you can see we're going to have volunteers on Saturday at a signature training, at the Erie Community Library, at the Boulder Farmers Market, etc. So again, you can also type the location that you want to search by into this search bar and narrow down the list of events so that it's more manageable. So this is one of the calendars that you as a volunteer can access and can post to. So if you have an event, you know that you're going to be at the library on Sunday from this time to this time and you want to post it on here, then you definitely can do that. And we highly encourage you to do so, so that way people can know where to find you and be able to sign petitions. So in order to post to this calendar, and in order to access the back-end volunteer calendars, you need to go to this webpage. It is corising.org/petitions. Now, something that is important to note is that this web page is not specifically available to the general public. So you have a difficult time finding it from our web page. So I highly recommend that you bookmark this specific URL. Again, it's corising.org/petitions. Now, just in case you forget where this lives, you can go to here to take action and click Join Us. At the very bottom of this page, just in case you've forgotten the URL, you can find that page right here where it says Already a Volunteer. Click here for more volunteer resources, and it will take you to this Petition Circulators page. Again, it is corising.org/petitions. Now, one of the reasons that we made this not on our website and harder for regular people to find is because it has important information about where to post onto calendars, volunteer circulator information like training materials, and also where to drop off notarized petitions. So this isn't necessarily information that we want available to the general public, but this is definitely a resource for you to use as a volunteer. So when you come to this page, the first thing that you'll see is that you can post to the 2 different calendars that we were talking about. So one of these calendars is the where to sign calendar. So this is the one where we saw right here, the where to sign. We just visited it. This is how you post to that calendar. So you can also view the calendar here or from right here. If you want to post to the calendar, all you have to do is click this blue button right here, and it'll take you to this page. Now, just in case you forget, this page has some specific instructions for how to fill out the form to post to the calendar. The most important thing is that you gather all of the information that you need before posting to the calendar. We want people to be able to find you, so it's important to know exactly the address where you'll be, exactly the time where you'll be, and any other necessary information that somebody might need. Please make sure that you read through all of the necessary steps here before posting to the calendar to make sure you are prepared. Now, following step 2, we'll click this blue button, and it'll bring us to this form, which is how you post to the calendar. So we're just going to walk through how to do that really quickly. So for instance, I'm going to be at the Golden Farmers Market. And if I want to write an event description, you can put something in here. So Golden Farmers So again, you can be as specific as you want in terms of where you'll be, if you're going to be wearing anything specific, if you're going to be at a booth or a table, because again, we are posting to the where to sign calendar right now. So this is important information. If somebody is going to come to one of these events, we want them to be able to find you really easily. So make sure you give all the details necessary for someone to be able to do that. Now, scrolling down here, I can choose a date and a time. So I'm going to choose May 19th. And I'm going to be there from 9 to 11 a.m. So as you can see, I've put the time in here. If this is something that you're going to be doing every Saturday at the farmers market, you can schedule multiple events right here by saying that it's either weekly or you're going to be there once a month, and it'll just copy the same information onto the calendar for every week. The next thing you'll need to fill out is the event category. So it's really important here to remember the step of which calendar you are posting to, because the forms look very similar. So if you click in here, you can see that there's a couple of different categories. So we know that we're posting to the where to sign calendar right now. So we want to make sure that we go here and we click this. If you're posting to a different calendar, please make sure that you put the appropriate tag, the appropriate category for that event calendar. Down here, you can tag the event. So for instance, if it's a farmer's market, festival, kickoff, meeting, or other event, you can tag them in here. So again, if you remember, we went to the calendar and we looked at the calendar and you could search by keyword. These tags help people figure out what kind of events that they're going to be looking for. Now, something that's important to note is venue details is very important, because this is where you're going to put the address of where your venue is. So as you can see, there's not just a usual address field right here. So you want to click here and see if one has already been put in here. So for instance, perhaps you're doing at the Boulder Bookstore or Avogadro's Number Restaurant. If somebody's already entered that information in here, that's great. All you have to do is click. However, if that address is not in here, then you can just create or find a venue. So right here where it says create or find a venue, you'll just type in the address. So I'm going to say the farmer's market as at 16359 West 10th Ave, Golden, Colorado. So it didn't pop up, so then we can just press create right here by clicking this link. So if I wanted to, I could rename this something else like Golden Farmers Market, or I can just put in my necessary address information. And then it will save. So then next time if you come in here and you want to use the same location, you can just use it again. Now you can also add organizer details. This is not a necessary step, but if you're with a specific group like 350 Boulder County, City of Loveland, Erie Protectors, and you want people to know that this is one of your events, you can create, again, just like you did with the address, or you can find a previous organizer. This is not a necessary step, so if you do not have a specific organizer, you're just going out by yourself, then don't feel the necessary need to type this in here. If there's a website for the event, you can put it in here. The last thing that's very important to note is this additional fields box right here. It's very important that you fill this out with your email address so that we can contact you about the event. If there's any mistakes, if we have any questions, if we need to contact you, for instance, if we know somebody else is going to be at that event, please list your contact information here so that we can get a hold of you. Now the last thing you'll do is check that you're not a robot, and then you'll submit the event. So something that is important to note is that every single event that is posted to any of our calendars needs to be approved by Colorado Rising. So when you submit an event, it may not automatically pop up in the calendar. It may take a few days or just a few hours, depending on how busy we are and how many events have been posted. So please make sure to post with as much ample time as possible so that we can make sure that your event gets up in time for people to be able to find you. So again, that was posting to the Where to Sign calendar to tell people where you will be with your petitions. Going back to the Circulator resources page, this is the corising.org/petitions page. You can see that there is another calendar here that you can post to. So we haven't quite talked about this calendar yet, but this is the ideas calendar. So if you have an idea for an event that you think that other Colorado Rising volunteers should be at collecting signatures, this is the event that you should post to. So you can post to this event if you are also going to this event, but if you want to encourage other people to join you, this is the best place to do that. Now, something that is important to note is that if you are going to be at this event for sure, you are suggested to post it to both the Where to Sign calendar and to the Ideas calendar. So the Ideas calendar, the posting process is exactly the same. Just please ensure that you list your email address in the event description so that other people who are looking, other volunteers who are looking at the Ideas calendar can find your information and contact you about carpooling, coordinating where you'll be for signature gathering, if you're going to have a booth, all of those details so that you guys can get a hold of each other. Make sure you also select the proper category. So this would be the Ideas for Where to Collect Signatures calendar. And again, you'll go through all the same steps that you did for the Where to Sign calendar and then post it. So let's take a look at the Ideas calendar. So as you can see, it looks very similar, but these are ideas of where people have posted of where other volunteers should go. So you can see there's festivals in Denver, Longmont, and a protest at Extraction. If you open up any of these, you can get more information about the event specifically. You can see who the organizers are, you can see what calendar it was, and you can see where it is. Please post your email address again in this description right here so that our other volunteers can know to contact you if you are also planning on being there. Now scrolling down, we're back on the petitions page. You can see that there's some other resources here for you to use as well. So those are 3 of the 4 calendars. So the 4th calendar is the Notary Calendar. So as you can see right here, there's some information about where to pick up petitions and drop them off. But if you want to find information on how to actually get your petition notarized, then you should continue to scroll down. And you can see in this gray box here, there's information about notaries. So you can see on here that there's office hours for our Boulder, Colorado Rising office where you can get your petitions notarized, as well as the Denver Food and Water Watch office. And there's also contact information for other people who are volunteer notaries that will notarize your petitions for free. Please note that you can get your petitions notarized at banks, post offices, and many other places. Many banks, if you have a membership there, will actually notarize your petitions for free. But there are plenty of other options to get your petitions notarized if you are unable or do not want to take the time to find a volunteer notary. If you want to get your petitions notarized for free through Colorado Rising, email and contact any of these people, or you can use this Notary Calendar to see when there are notary parties in your area. So since we have a lot of people collecting signatures and only a few notaries, organizing notary calendars is the best way to make sure that we are getting the most bang for our buck at the time of our notaries. So if you are a team leader and you know that you have a bunch of volunteers that need to get their petitions notarized, feel free to contact any of the notaries listed on the previous page to ask them if you can host a notary party. For instance, you could have a notary come to a coffee shop and then have all of your volunteers come and get their petitions notarized during that time. This way, our notaries aren't having to run all across the city and state to make sure that our petitions get notarized. Now you can see on this calendar that there's already quite a few notary parties or notary opportunities listed. So for instance, there is a notary and petition signing at the Boulder bookstore on Saturday. And you can see that there's also a notary that is going to be at the Boulder office. If you are interested in hosting a notary party, please email unite@corising.org to get more information on how you can host a notary party and to start that planning process. Now again, you as a volunteer are not able to post to the notary party calendar. You are able to post to the ideas calendar and to the where to sign calendar. The notary calendar and the events calendar can only be posted to by Colorado Rising staff. So going back to the corising.org/petitions page, if you remember, we've scrolled down here past where we can post to our calendars. We've scrolled down where we can pick up petitions and drop off notarized petitions. And we've also reviewed where you can get your petitions notarized. Down here at the bottom of this page, there's a couple of other quick things to note. As a volunteer, you have access via this page to both refresh your skills watching the training videos or getting the signature collecting rules handout. So all of these things were given to you when you were trained as a volunteer through the signature gathering trainings. If you've lost any of them or want copies of those resources or want to train other people, you can find those links at the bottom of this page in these blue buttons. So if you click them, it'll take you to a separate page where you can watch the videos, either in-person training or at a house party or just to refresh. You can find PDFs for important documents. And you can also visit the volunteer resources page. So this page houses all of the different resources that we have available for our opportunities, for all of the how-to guides on how to host a house party, sign-up sheets for circulators, signature collecting training sheet, everything, all of the resources and printable and both online resources that volunteers may need can be found on this page. So that is corising.org/volunteer resources. But again, you can find it right here at the bottom of the corising.org/petitions page. Something that's important to note is that this page, there's 21 different resources at this point that you may be able to open. If you don't see something on this first 8 squares of information, be sure to click through to find the other information available. There are multiple pages. There's 3 pages of informational materials. So if you don't see something on the first page, please just click through to find the next one using these arrows right here in either the upper right-hand corner or the lower right-hand corner. If you have any questions, feel free to email unite@corising.org. We hope you've enjoyed this webinar and have access to all of the tools that you need now to be able to use our calendars. Again, for just a refresher, there are 4 calendars. The first is the Colorado Rising Events Calendar, which you can find right here. This lists only Colorado Rising sponsored events like trainings, kickoffs, rallies, and only Colorado Rising can post to this calendar. The Where to Sign calendar is found right here, and this lists time and places where the public can find a petition to sign. This is a combo of office hours and places where volunteers will be with their petitions. Volunteers are highly encouraged to post ahead of time where and when they'll have petitions available so that the public can find petitions. The 2 internal calendars are the Ideas calendar, which can be found right here. And this lists ideas about good places and events to gather signatures. And the goal of this calendar is for volunteers to help other volunteers with suggestions. Volunteers are encouraged to post their ideas here. If anybody wants to set up carpools or ask for partners, please include your contact information in the body of the post. If you want to encourage other volunteers to attend an event where you'll also be petitioning, be sure to post on both the Ideas calendar and the Where to Sign calendar. The last calendar that we went over today is the Notary Calendar, and this shows specific times when Colorado Rising notaries will be available to get your petitions notarized. Only Colorado Rising can post to this calendar. With that concludes our webinar for today on our Colorado Rising online resources. Again, if you have any questions, please email unite@corising.org. We're happy to answer any questions or help you guys get up to speed. Please share this video with any volunteer that may need access to our online tools. And thank you so much for all of your hard work to protect our community's health and safety from fracking.